Hello, good morning to all. So, in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the energy sources. In the energy sources, is further divided into the conventional and non-renewable energy sources, and then further divided into the conventional and non-conventional energy sources. And then conventional energy sources, we discuss about the coal, petroleum, and natural gases, their advantages, disadvantages. In the renewable energy sources, we have discussed about the basic concept of the renewable and about the wind energy and hydro energy. So today we will discuss about the solar energy in this lecture. So the energy comes from the solar, which is called the solar energy. The energy comes from the solar in the form of radiation is called the solar energy. The solar energy is the energy derived from the sun to the form of solar radiation. To the form of solar radiation. The solar powered electrical generation relies on photovoltaic and heat engines. Solar powered electrical generation relies on photovoltaic and heat engines. A partial list of other solar applications include space heating and cooling through solar architecture, daylighting, solar hot water, solar cooking, and high temperature process heat for industrial purpose. So, in this paragraph, we concluded that okay, and then the solar energy is converted into the electrical energy by using the photovoltaic cells. And there are two applications of the solar energy. In the one application, we use the heat, the solar energy in its direct form. We can say the heat energy. And other application, we use the solar energy or heat energy to change in the electrical energy. So solar technologies are broadly characterized as either passive solar or active solar, depending on the way they capture, convert, and distribute solar energy. So there are two characteristics of solar energy or solar technology. You can say that solar technology is broadly characterized by passive solar and active solar. And what is the meaning of the active solar and the passive solar? The next question is that the active solar technique include the use of photovoltaic panel and solar collector to harness the energy. Solar thermal collector to harness or use the solar energy. In the passive solar technique include orienting a building to the sun, selecting material with favorable thermal mass and light dispersing properties, and designing a space that naturally circulates air. So, have you seen the example of the green building? So, green building, you can say the green building and the eco-friendly building in which the we have the minimum requirement of the light. So nowadays, the building are designed by considering the factor that the minimum light is required, the minimum electricity. Light means there electricity. The minimum electricity is required for lighting the whole building. So we use the natural light. We use the natural light comes from the sun to lightening the complete building. Lightening the complete building. So it's a type of the passive solar technique, and it's a really good technique in nowadays. We can use. We should all use such type of the techniques to save the energy. So the next form, it's the basic concept. That was the basic concept about the solar. That solar technology we have studied about that so what is the solar energy? The solar energy is energy derived from the sun and in the form of the radiation, and then the solar energy can be used, we can use the heat energy directly for the application of the solar hot water, solar cooking, and such type of the high temperature process heat. And we can use the solar energy to generate the electricity by using the photovoltaic cells. So there are two techniques. The active techniques, we have studied about the active techniques and the passive solar techniques. In the active techniques, we use the solar radiation we use the solar energy. You can say that we use the solar energy and change into the electrical energy by using the photovoltaic panels. So such type of the techniques is called the active solar technique that uses the photovoltaic panel, है ना? And such type of the collectors. And in the passive solar techniques, passive solar techniques include such type of the building, the orienting a building to the sun, and such type of the material select, which is favorable thermal mass or light dispersive property. कहने का मतलब ये है कि हम लोग अभी जो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग का कंसेप्ट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, कैंपस के अंदर एक बिल्डिंग बनी हुई है जिसको पर्ल अकेडमी बोलते हैं, पर्ल एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूट है। उस इंस्टीट्यूट की बिल्डिंग अगर आप देखोगे तो उसको राजस्थान या नॉर्थ इंडिया के अंदर उसको अवार्ड मिला था इको फ्रेंडली ग्रीन बिल्डिंग का। एक्चुअली उस बिल्डिंग का इफेक्ट इस तरीके से है कि एक्चुअली दैट बिल्डिंग रिक्वायर्स मिनिमम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी and there is a maximum probability to come the sunlight. तो उस बिल्डिंग का क्या है कि उसमें डे टाइम के अंदर कोई भी लाइट्स ऑन नहीं करनी पड़ती है, वो सनलाइट के थ्रू ही उसमें काम चल जाता है। So the overall the conclusion that the overall cost reduction, overall peak demand reduction here, and overall energy saving process. So passive solar techniques is really considerable and appreciable here. So here we will discuss about the biomass. Actually, biomass is the energy that comes from the plant material and the such type of fermentation of the such type of material. Brackish is the plant material is a renewable energy sources because the energy it contains from the sun. Because biomass is contained in the renewable energy sources because we use we use the plant material for the biomass energy. We use the plant material, and the plant uses the sunlight to make the food. The plant uses the sunlight to make the food, or you can say through the process of photosynthesis, plant capture the sun's energy. When the plants are burned, they release the sun's energy they contain. In this way, the biomass function as a sort of natural battery for storing solar energy. So you can say the biomass function is like a natural battery that store the solar energy. Because in the case of the biomass, we use the plant material, and the plant grow up by using the photosynthesis effect, or because the plant grow by the food, and the food comes from the photosynthesis effect, and the photosynthesis effect is directly related to the sun's energy. So when we burn the plant, we burn that wood related to the plant, then that release the energy, and that releasing energy is directly proportional to the sun's energy. Because ये जब सन एनर्जी नहीं होती तो प्लांट नहीं होता, प्लांट नहीं होता तो प्लांट मटेरियल या मैन्योर से जो बायोमास बनना था वो भी नहीं होता। तो इसलिए क्या था कि biomass is also contained in the renewable energy sources. In this way, the biomass function is a sort of the natural battery, as we discussed earlier. As long as biomass is produced sustainably, with only as much used as is grown, the battery will last indefinitely. ये इस तरीके की बैटरी है जो कि indefinite टाइम तक चल सकती है, definite टाइम तक वाली बैटरी नहीं है. In general, there are two main approaches to using plant for energy production. Growing plant is specifically for energy use, and using the residues from plant that are used for other things. The best approach vary from the region to region according to climate, soil, and geography. So there are two main approaches here discussed here, that the plant to using the plant for energy production. We can grow the plant specifically for the energy use, or we can use the residues which come out from that plant. We can use these residues to generate the energy. So it's depend upon area to area and climate condition and soil condition. So you can see a pictorial view of the biomass sources, you can see that the sewage is responsible for the biomass sources, and the municipal solid waste, which is directly, which is also included in the biomass sources, animal residues, काऊ डंग, ये सब किस में आता है बायोमास सोर्सेज के अंदर। एग्रीकल्चर क्रॉप एंड रेजिड्यूज, चावल धान देखा होगा, चावल का जो छिलका होता है उससे भी उसको बर्न करके जो एनर्जी मिलती है, दैट टाइप ऑफ द एनर्जी है बायोमास एनर्जी। And forestry crop and residues is also indulged in the biomass sources, and industrial residues is also included in the biomass sources. So the biomass sources, you can say the biomass energy is depend on the sewage, municipal solid waste, or the animal residues, or the industrial residues, or the forestry crops and residues, and the agriculture crops and residues. So here is a diagram which show the conversion of biomass to electricity, which show the conversion of biomass to electricity. So in this diagram, you can see there is a direct conversion or no, it's a indirect conversion. There are two types of the conversion shown in this figure: direct and indirect. In the direct conversion, you can see there is a fiber. There is a fiber: pulp, paper, lumber, plywood, cotton. So such type of the fiber, which directly used to process residues. This such type of the residues can be processed and decomposition, and make the electricity. Or in the other way, the fiber, such type of the fiber, the material product जैसे चावल था, चावल का जो दान का जो छिलका था, उस प्रोडक्ट को यूज किया, और यू कैन से कि चावल को जो मटेरियल प्रोडक्ट था, वो चावल था, धान था, जो भी था, उसको क्या किया कि कंज्यूमर्स, जो ह्यूमन बीइंग ने उसको खाया, ह्यूमन बीइंग ने खाने के बाद में जो उनका ह्यूमन बीइंग का जो म्युनिसिपल और सॉलिड जो वेस्ट था, उस वेस्ट को हमने एक जगह रिसाइकिल किया ऑर्गेनिक्स में के अंदर, और उसको डिकम्पोज किया, कंबस्टन किया, और मेक द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फॉर द पावर प्लांट. So there are two for the same case with the crop and animal. So the animal product like the milk, which is consumed by the consumers, and the consumer do the municipal solid waste, and this waste is used for the decomposition, combustion, and use and make the electricity. Or you can say that the cow dung, direct process side, the cow dung is used for position and combustion and make the electricity. So there are a direct channel and the indirect channel. We can use the both channel are used to generate the electricity through the biomass too. So such type of the fuel ZPB units is the fuel and the biomass, precise combustion, hot gas, filter, clean hot gas turbine, pressure heat generator, and electricity. We will discuss in further slides, and we discussed in the particular module about this ZPB units. So we skip this unit in this lecture. The next slide is the title, and after the title, we will discuss about the biofuel. We will discuss about the biofuel. So in this lecture, we have summarized about the biomass and the solar. So the application of the solar and the biomass. There is an introductory idea about the solar and the biomass, and for the described knowledge, we will the described knowledge we will be shown in the next PPTs. So thank you very much, and if you have any query regarding the both either solar and the biomass, you can ask me, you can call me, you can WhatsApp me at any time, anywhere. So thank you very much. Thank you. So now I stop the presenting. Thank you for the being with me, with your presence. Thank you.